Um, Good everybody, and today welcome to another session on Microsoft Excel and data analysis. Today our guest speaker is Gift, and Gift is going to be taking us or going to be discussing today about content creation for data practitioners. Okay, so the Microsoft Excel and Power BI, the Microsoft Excel and data analysis is being powered by UrBizEdge, and UrBizEdge is a registered Microsoft Excel consulting, financial modeling, business intelligence, and data analysis and enterprise solution firm in Nigeria. This is our upcoming training calendar. We also specialize in training you on how to use Python for data analysis, how to use Microsoft Excel, and how to use Power BI, and also financial modeling. So today our guest speaker is Gift, and Gift is a data scientist. He's also a technical writer, and he's also a public speaker. Gift at the moment is a sports data scientist at CBB Analytics. He enjoy content creation, especially if you follow him on Twitter, you will see the content he creates. And he's also a community advocate who is passionate about providing guidance to data exchanges on how to navigate and transition in the data science space. So, hello, Gift.
Yeah. So
Gift.
happy Sunday. Yeah. Sorry, like the video is not so like it's somewhat bad. I don't know where you are, but currently where I am is it's rainy here and the weather is kind of bad. But okay, today I'll be sharing my screen. I'll be talking about um let me share my screen. I'm coming. Yeah, so can you see my screen now?
Yes, we can
Can you
see
see
your
my
screen.
screen?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Yeah. So today I'll be talking about uh, content creation. Like that's the main title. An elaborate study on content creation for data practitioners. So before I move on to the next slide, like I said, my name is Gift Ojeabulu. Before I move on to the next slide, who are data practitioners? Data practitioners are anybody that uses data in one way. But let me be precise about what I'm trying to say. If I say anybody that uses data in one way, I'll be biased because everybody uses data one way or the other. But data practitioners are people that fall into the data categories. Like there are 21 careers in the data science and under the data practitioners category. There are over 21 careers actually. There are over 21 careers actually in that. So there are over 21 careers, like I said now. So I'm classing all data, anybody involved in data in this talk now under what I'm trying to explain today. So let me move. Like, who am I? I am Gift Ojeabulu, right? A sports data scientist at CBB Analytics. Yeah. So what CBB Analytics means is college basketball analytics. Can you hear me? Hi Benny, can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you clearly.
Yes. So yeah. So what CBB analytics is calling. I'm just trying to introduce myself before I go in so you know who I am. So it should not look like it's a foreign body trying to just talk to you about this. Yeah. I chose this topic for a reason. I would have talked about a concept in Excel. I would have talked about a concept in Power BI or something related to lots of time I've talked about things related to Python, right? Yeah. But I just decided to talk about this because I feel this is a part that a lot of people neglect, but is important. When I start talking about this as I proceed, you see what I'm trying to say. A lot of people underrate this part, and we'll see why I say a lot of people underrate this part. So, like I said, I'm a sport data scientist, specifically a basketball data scientist at CBB Analytics. CBB Analytics is a company in California. What we do is college basketball analytics. We use data science and analytics, statistical techniques for game planning on the basketball court, so the coach can have a higher edge in in winning the other team. So basically, we do that for teams in the US, right? So basically, you can relate this now to the football setting. I know football is among is the most popular sport in Nigeria, right? So in the football setting now, when two players are playing, maybe like yesterday, maybe Man U and the other team, right? Man U and Watford, right? So their metrics are which these people use, their data are which they use. They watch how the keeper, the position, the best position at which the keeper points the ball, like their formation and the tactics they use, whether high defensive and so on. So I'm just relating that to the football now. So let me just leave that. So I'm also a technical writer, right? Yeah, I write towards AI, I write for G Culture. I'm also a data community advocate, right? So what a data community advocate means is you see me posting about stuff, you see me posting on stuff in the community about data science, data analysis, machine learning, natural language processing, and you see me always talking about community. You maybe one way or the other, I wouldn't be surprised if you've seen me on Twitter, my threads. I would be surprised if you've seen me on LinkedIn one way or the other, or maybe talks like I am doing right now. And I'm also a content creator one way or the other. So let's leave that about introducing myself. You know me. Once again, sorry about the video, like you're not seeing who you are talking to. Yeah, I think is some issues here right now, but let's leave that and focus more on the slide. I'm so sorry about that. So what is content creation? Yeah, so before I go to the next slide, content creation is simply, in a layman sense, content creation is simply producing content one way or the other. And what are contents? Contents can be in written form, can be in form of public speaking, can be in any form, maybe through books and all like that. But let me move down to the generic definition of content creation. So yeah, so according to Wikipedia now, content creation is the contribution of information to any media for an end user or audience. So it is something that is expressed through some medium for self-expression, distribution, marketing, or publication. So that's what content creation is. So contribution of information now, there's a thin line between information and communication. I will explain what we call the relationship, how data science is related to content creation personally. I didn't put it in the slide because of the time frame of me preparing the slide, but I will explain that. So I'll explain the thin line between content creation for data practitioners. Now, there is what we call, I call it personally, I call it the three chains of knowledge for data scientists. We have the data, we have the information, and we have the knowledge. Yes, I'm putting it now in an hierarchical form. You can take it from the apex. I'm sorry about the sound. It's raining here. Like you can check it from. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
But the sound is a bit wavy with the rain, right?
No, the sound is perfect. Okay, continue.
What do you say?
It's perfect. It's perfect. Continue.
It's disturbing a little, right?
No. It's perfect. Your sound is okay. Continue.
It's okay. It's very faulty.
It's okay. Continue.
Okay. It's okay, right? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let me just continue then. Yeah. So let me just continue. So like if you are not getting it, you can tell me. So I just recap what I'm trying to say. Yes. So like I said content creation is the contribution of information to any media for an end user, right? That's what I'm trying to say. So I was talking about the three chains of knowledge for data scientists. So now I'll talk about the hierarchical techniques now. Just try to imagine it in your head. We have the data, we have the information, and we have the knowledge now. They are placed on hierarchical format. You can place it in an ascending order or a descending order now. So the first part now is the data, right? I'll say something like data is everywhere, but information is scarce, right? The next part now is the information. Information is very scarce, but like I said, there's data everywhere now. The processed information, as we all know now, is processed data is information. And when you try to, the potential to, like when you try to make a potential to this information, that's when we see knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Funny enough, I'm bringing that into it. So let me go to the next slide now. Basically, I'll be talking about several ways of creating content as a data practitioner now. Let me just go into this. I'll spend time on this. There are different ways of creating content as a data practitioner now. We have the blogging, we have the social media content creation, we have the research paper or white paper, we have the creating educational videos, we have speaking at tech conference, we have creating newsletter, we have podcasts, we have ebooks, and a lot of them actually. But these are the major ones for that I think data scientists can leverage. So I will be explaining them for each. Yeah, so blogging now, as you would have heard of one way or the other, blogging is simply, like as it sounds, like maybe writing content for maybe a particular publication, maybe something like writing content for towards data science, towards AI, G-culture, data-driven investor, and any other tech publications now relating to data science. That's basically blogging. So blogging is a form of a written content actually. From blogging, I can see myself as a technical writer. So if you're a technical writer, one way or the other, you would have gone into blogging. I know there's this difference between blogging and article writing. Like I was shocked the first time I saw that actually. I see that there's a difference between blogging and just writing articles, right? Yeah, so we'll go into that. So blogging, like I said now, I'll be listing there are different publications in data science. There are towards data science, there are towards AI. I can't list all of them. There are much actually. But what I would say is, in blogging, there's what we call, you would have heard about it, plagiarism, right? In blogging, they are more bothered about your original content than people have their generic content online. What makes you special is the idea you're trying to add now in the body of knowledge, the idea you are trying to chip in this body of knowledge. That's what makes you special now. So maybe I'm trying to write for a publication like towards data science. How do I go about this now? How do I go about this? Like I said, I'll be doing a lot of talk more than showing you slide. Why? Because there are not a lot of time for me to create lots of slides, the time frame, but I know it's in my head, right? Even without seeing slide. So maybe I want to write for towards, you can write them down, like publication, if you are looking to go into, I'll still talk about paid publications in data science. I'll still talk about that. And I'll be posting about that soon on Twitter, probably this week or next week in detail. So maybe I'm trying to write for towards AI, towards data science. The first thing I need to be bothered about is the topic knowledge. Like I need to be bothered about what I want to talk about. Maybe for an instance now, for instance, I want to talk about artificial intelligence. I need to know, there's this saying in economics, there's what we call, the economics will always ask what, why, and how, as I was taught when I was in SS1. That was among the first thing I was taught. So in every topic, there's a what, there's a why, and there's how. Just like I said, what is content creation? All these are relative pronouns that you attach to content or topic you are trying to talk about, right? So the first thing we look in content is, what am I trying to talk about? I try to explain that. Oh, that's the format I use. Okay, that what is content creation, for example? Then I start to reference content creation from different definitions from different publishers. Now there are thoughts on content creation. I check Wikipedia, I read about content creation on different parts. Then at the end of the day, I try to reference this back, and I try to draw my knowledge from this now. Trying to make content, I try to draw my knowledge and try to impute my thoughts on content creation based on the knowledge I've gained. To be sincere, one way or the other, if we are to say we are a product of content creation, let me tell you, no matter how brilliant you think you are today, everything I'm saying, one way or the other, I've read about them online before, or maybe I've seen it online before, or I've seen it. It might be unconsciously. There are a lot of things that you've learned one way or the other that you don't really pay attention to until you want to put your mind to it and it starts coming. You are a product of content. Like I don't want to say 60 to 70% of what you talk about and what you think. I like as a result of content. Maybe through reading someone research paper, maybe through trying to like read documentations or open source codes. If I can put open source code as content, what do I mean? These are developers' content, right? I think to me, content creation is not only limited to trying to write articles, because when I'm trying to explain articles now, I involve codes as a technical writer. Yeah. So the next thing I'll be talking about paid, like the paid publications. A lot of people don't know that as a content creator in form of blogging, you can make money. A lot of people don't know about this, right? So what are paid publications to make money now? It's nice. Everybody wants to make money, right? So I'll be talking about paid publications to make money as a content creator in terms of blogging now. There are different publications to make money. I'll be listing some of them now in my head. I'll be talking about the Fritz AI. If you've not heard about that, right here, you'll see that's Fritz AI. The Fritz AI. I'll be talking about the Neptune. I think the Neptune AI too. I'll be talking about LogRocket. LogRocket is a publication for, it's not generic for data science like the Fritz AI and Neptune. Is more for developers, but you can write stuff about web scraping, data visualization relating to the web, maybe like JavaScript for web development, something like that. Exactly. There's LogRocket. We have a lot of them, right? I'm just listing some of them. We have a lot of them, and so on like that. I'll give more posts about it on Twitter, like long posts. So the next thing I'll be talking about, social media content creation. So as the name implies, right? So social media content creation is just creating content for social media, like creating content for social media. There are different social medias now. The most popular, like I think the three most popular for developers are the Twitter, the LinkedIn, and TikTok is currently growing now, but it's Twitter and LinkedIn mainly. I think Twitter to be precise. Yeah. So you can use Twitter. Twitter owns like the highest form of developer community. You can create content through Twitter, for example, maybe through making tweets in terms of data science. I do that a lot. Machine learning, making tweets and threads about open source or tech stuff like that. You are creating content, but in this I'll try to explain now. Before you create content as a social media content creator, like, are you following? Benny, are you following me? Are you there? Hi, Benny, are you there? Hi, Benny. Hi. Is anybody here with me? Hi. Can you all hear me? Okay, let me just continue though. I don't know if you can still hear me. So can you see my screen?
Yes, you can see the screen. We can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Please reply, so I'll be able to know if you are with me or not. So I will know I'm speaking
with you.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for that. Yeah, I just want to confirm to make it interactive, kind of, just not me speaking to a screen. So, like I was talking about social media content creation, like I said, you need to understand your audience before you post about what you need to post on social media. There's a part where I'll talk about the A/B testing for content creation. I'll talk about that, right? So now, before I make posts, you see, maybe you've seen my tweet on Twitter with a lot of retweets and like. How do I do this? Is it magic? How do I do this? So one of the first things I understand is I try to understand what the people following me want to know about. A lot of times on Twitter, I post about beginners content to some level of intermediate content. Why? Because I know that the large group of people following me on Twitter, they are more beginner to intermediate. How do I know? Because it's just as a result of the content that I post, the reaction to it, the number of likes, the number of comments, the number of retweets. That's how I know the number of people following me. I know like this are the number of the category of people following me. And why I post more of a lot of beginner to intermediate stuff. Like sometimes I see a lot of people post some advanced stuff in neural network and they don't get engagement. Why? Because of, I see something like this. If you are not so experienced in the field, maybe 5 to 7 plus experience, I'm just giving an instance, you posting about some deep things in ML might not be so accurate, because it's just like you are bringing something from somewhere and dropping online. What's like the way human beings tend to interact is they try to see that you are seeing their point of view and you are trying to bring it out. For example, maybe I'm trying to create a content on social media, for example, now relating to data science. One content that has always blown, that always get interaction in talking about careers in maybe data science, talking about, I'm giving you some tips now, talking about careers in data science, talking about getting jobs. Let me tell you, these are cheat codes that people will always interact, because people are always willing to get into the field. People are always looking for a job. Like I've not seen any job that you tell me, maybe as a data scientist or maybe as an accountant, for instance, now that you tell me that there are no accountants in the world looking for a job. There will always be somebody looking for a job. So when you post content about someone looking for a job and you are trying to relate with this person, the person tends to interact with that content. Why? Because of the person is seeing you as like you are relating directly, you are making that relationship, that content relationship with this person. So the person interacts more with you. Yeah, so that's basically. So according to research, there are best times to post on social media, right? Like I said, outside research, you can do some A/B testing. Like I will explain that in the next like 2 slides. You can do some A/B testing, which I will explain in the next 2. Outside research, understand your audience, understand the people you are trying to, like, you are posting for, because you don't have to go based on research. For example, now, based on research, the best time to post on Twitter is, I think, on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, something like that, based on research. Yes, if you make research, that's according to data now. According to data, the best time to post on Twitter is on Tuesday, I think on Tuesday and Thursday, something like that. The best time to post on LinkedIn, the highest, like that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, within the hours of 9 to 2 p.m. or 1 p.m. based on research. But based on my own audience, from observation, like that's why I said, always understand your audience now. My observation is the best time for me to post content is on Thursday evening. And that content will last more on Friday, Saturday, Thursday or Friday. That's the best time to post content based on my own audience. So I'm just trying to give you some knowledge about content creation and how to promote your content. You get, for trying to make a content, you have to make sure the content you are trying to produce is nice, is something worth interacting with. It's not something you just go. It's not something that is a clickbait. Maybe I'm trying to say like maybe five ways to make $100 million as a data scientist now. All those things are clickbait, because in maybe 5 ways to make $100 million as a data scientist in 3 months. We know all those things are clickbait. Or how to learn data science in 1 day. We know it's not possible. Like, even though Jesus descended on you, it's not possible for you to learn data science in 1 day. So all these things are clickbait for people to, like, you shouldn't try to place this as your priority on creating content. That's one side. The next thing I'll be talking about, making research papers. You can publish research paper through ResearchGate, ARSIV, and so on. We have creating educational videos. We have creating educational videos, like on YouTube. You can start a channel trying to create videos to explain concepts in machine learning and data science. We have speaking at tech conferences, right? You can speak at tech conferences. There are a lot of tech conferences like the PyCon Africa, the PyCon Nigeria, the PyData Hamburg, and so on like that. You can browse them relating to data science. If you are trying to make research on where to speak on, you can go to the paper called, you see a lot of conference relating to data science and machine learning to speak about. There's also creating newsletter, right? You can use Get Review, you can use Substack. If you don't know about Get Review, I think it's a new form of newsletter by like link to Twitter is getting popular. You can create content through podcast. There's what we call Anchor. If you are trying to use your phone that you don't have the full requirement, you can create your podcast through Anchor and stuff like that, and ebooks and so on. Yes, and you can publish your podcast on Spotify and other things like that. Yeah, so what are the types of content creation that can be created for data practitioner? There are verbal contents, just from the other one, there are non-verbal content. Like the verbal contents now is the one I'm doing now. Non-verbal content is the one that, like writing articles and stuff like that. That's written content, right? Yeah, so content creation related careers for data practitioners. Yeah, like I would like to hammer on this. I don't know if you know about developer advocates. If you know, there's technical writing, there's podcaster, there's data storytelling, there's data journalism, there's documentation writer, there's YouTuber. Maybe if you're looking at it as a data practitioner, what career can I bring out from creating content? Creating content can push you to the line of being a developer advocate, and there are different. A developer advocate actually is called developer relations. Now, developer relations is like an encapsulation or embodiment of developer advocate, technical evangelist, technical writers, and so on. Anything that fall under that is related, like you heard, developer relations, to make the developer community, to engage them and to engage them. Yes, exactly. To bring interactivity in the community. Yes, so that's a career that can evolve from content creation as a data practitioner. So there are different aspects, careers like that. We have the machine learning developer advocate, we have the data engineering developer advocate, we have the data analysis developer advocate, and so on like that. So the MLOps developer advocate, the product developer advocate, yeah. So, and the community manager also can involve as a form of content creation. So we also have a technical writer. You can be out of creating contents in the site. You can make technical writing and stuff like that. We also have podcasting, right? You can be a podcaster, also data storytelling, write stories for company and stuff like that. They are storytelling company. We also have data journalism. They do more content and making research online and stuff like that. We also have the documentation writer, writing documentation, and they are all forms of like creating content, though that's relating to open source and YouTuber stuff. So I'll be talking about a practical scenario for A/B testing for content creation, right? So let me give a preview of what I'm trying to say. I don't know if you can see my screen. If you can still see my screen, you can just
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Exactly. So
you're on Twitter right now.
What do you say?
You're on Twitter.
Yes, exactly. So I want to give you like a practical scenario of like content creation, A/B testing. I talked about this. That's a practical A/B testing. For what is A/B testing? It's just placing two samples, exactly, maybe contents now in this content creation sense, side by side, and testing the one that work best for the business matrix. Yeah, exactly, based on matrix, the one that work best. That's just I think is a statistical hypothesis testing, right? So it's just a study. So hypothesis to just test what will work better. I think Twitter did that actually. They did A/B testing for fleets and the popular Twitter space. So so that's why you see within a certain period they remove the fleets, and yes, they remove the fleets and they left the Twitter space, right? Because of why they noticed from my point as a data scientist and A/B testing, I think they noticed the interaction. Sorry, they noticed the interaction on, like, for Twitter Spaces, how it's bringing engagement in the communities and stuff like that. That is higher than that of the fleet, right? So let me give a practical scenario now. Okay. Yeah. So this is my Twitter account. I do A/B testing on Twitter a lot. Like, I do it when you say I make posts, sometimes I make two different posts entirely. That is it's simple. It's not forget the title now. Just like the name implies, it's A/B testing. Forget the story. Just placing placing sample A and sample B now. Testing is that, oh, let me try this and try this. What will the end user interact with more? And how will you know this? Based their content creation now on Twitter. Now, how will I know this? Based on the replies, the number of replies, the retweets, and the like. That's when I'll know the one that worked best. To know the type of content to create more. So when you see me post threads online and stuff like that, and you see that, oh, this thing is having a lot of retweet and engagement, I do a lot of A/B testing. Sometimes you see I post like 2 to 3 stuff, not because of I need engagement at that point in time. It's just because I am trying new things entirely different from what I am posting before, to see whether people buy this idea. Like one particular time I made a post about Sabino, funny stuff about Emeka. That's a different thing entirely. That I just be like, oh, can I try this? And it worked actually. So these are just things that people interact with. So I want to show you. I want to show a tweet on how I did that. I did. Yes. Okay. Yes. So this some days back, this particular tweet. This was the first tweet I made. I made this tweet, I think, similar time. I think if you check this, the time here is not correct now. If you check the time that I made the tweet similar time. So when I made this tweet, not long I made this particular tweet too. So if you check it now, this tweet particularly is 5 machine learning algorithm with project ideas, right? So it's something relating to machine learning, like for beginner, linear regression, house price prediction, project that you can work on and stuff like that. Then I made another tweet. I'm doing A/B testing now. That's why I say it's not so hard. Forget the word now. Forget the word A/B testing. I don't really understand. It's just these an experiment. A here, sample A. This is the B now that I'm trying to explain. This is the B. So I make this this one now is very important way as a beginner. So when you are considering content creation on social media, especially on Twitter, you should be bothered about keywords. It also works on LinkedIn. Bothered about keywords. Let me give you a tip that I use. If you notice my posts, like someone like me that observe a lot, you see a lot of similarities. See a pattern in data science. There's what we call pattern recognition. To every human, to every man or lady, any human being at all, there are patterns at which we do things. For example, there are patterns at which I talk. If you check maybe like 4 videos to these videos, I'm just like 4 videos that maybe I've given talks before, and you check these videos, you see that there are words that I mentioned, like I mentioned a lot. I'm trying to dive away, but I'm coming back to this, explaining what I'm trying to say. There are things that I mentioned a lot. There are things, maybe I mentioned data science. Because I mentioned data science and machine learning, I don't need to tell somebody I'm into data science. From the person just watching my talk, the person know that, okay, this guy mentioned data science, this guy do mention machine learning, this guy do mention open source, community and stuff like that. The person know that this guy is either something like a data scientist, a data engineer, a data analyst. There are patterns at which we do things. So learning patterns, just like in machine learning, as machines recognize patterns to create better lines and stuff like that for the model, data-centric better than model-centric, right? So let's leave that and come back to this. So I said 7 important things to do as a beginner data scientist, data analyst, and data engineer in 2022. Let me explain how this content came up and how I think the engagement. Forget now, if you view the tweet activity now, you see, okay, 19,127 impression, 995 engagements, 335 detail expands, and 186 profile visits. I'm just giving an instance now. Let me now explain how these things work. As human, we are figurative. Let me explain what I'm trying to say. Figurative in the sense that I'm not trying to go to maybe some part of speech here now. Figurative in the sense that we always try to be specific about what we are trying to achieve. How do I mean? When you read something like there are 5 ways to making money, and someone be like, how to make money, another person be like, making money, I can possibly tell you that a lot of people we engage more on a content that says 5 ways to make money than a content that says making money. And if you compare 5 ways to make money, how to make money, and making money, you see that the interaction and engagement to this post will be different, because why? We are figurative. A lot of people don't like wasting time. Like maybe they get to a post and they just see the headline, something like making money. They know like going into this headline is not catchy enough, it's not so descriptive and exact. So they be like, them going into this post now, they start reading a lot of things about making money. But when you be like 5 ways to make money now, they be like, okay, they just want to check the main points about making money to iterate more on how to make money. So that's what I did here, because I know we are figurative. That's why you see me doing stuff like 7 important things to do as a beginner now. As a beginner, because of I noticed my audience they are more beginners to intermediate from experience, for making a lot of posts. So now I'm targeting this as a beginner. So 7 important things now to do. So I'm using action word like importance and things, important and stuff like that. So 7 important things to do as a beginner data scientist, data analyst, and data engineer in 2022. In this case now, I can simply mention 7 important things to do as a beginner data practitioner. But you will notice I'm not mentioning data practitioner here. I'm saying as a beginner data scientist, data analyst, and data engineer. Why? Because of I am playing with the Twitter algorithm. The way this thing works, we are data scientists now. There's what we call topic modeling, right? It's simply what it means is simply just classifying topics under different categories. That's what it means. Forget the too much English about the modeling there. Classifying topics into different categories. Maybe I'm trying to classify this content into data science. I'm trying to classify this content into web development and differences like that. So now I'm saying this as being a data scientist, data analyst, data engineer, because I want the Twitter algorithm to see that I'm talking about anything relating to this data practitioner. If I mention data practitioner now, what's they feed in the model to learn? They won't feed in data practitioner. They can feed in stuff like data. They are feeding different careers in data in the data science field. Data, if I say I'm a data practitioner is not a career now. Data practitioner is like the generalized word for people working in the data field. So I'm specifying now that even if you're a data scientist, even if you're a data analyst, data engineer, this content is for you to the algorithm now. So this algorithm can easily classify this content as a data science content or a tech content or a data engineering content, anything like that. So now, when this algorithm classify this under that topic, I don't know if I'm making sense. Like, I don't know if you get what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to explain this thing in depth now. Well, I don't know if you've seen it from this perspective before. When this algorithm classifies this into data science, data engineering, or tech, for example, people that they are following maybe data science, they see this content, and because of they are interested in that, they interact with this. You get what I'm trying to say? Now, I'm not saying 7 important things to do as a beginner data practitioner. If I've said that now, people that are interested in this content might not see, because the algorithm is not classifying it in that way. You are getting me, right? So when I'm specifying also as data scientist, data analyst, and data engineer, I'm trying to give signal to data practitioners, because the 3 most common role in the data field right now is like the 3 most common role that we all know it. A data scientist or a data analyst or a data engineer, like they are among the 3 top common roles in data science. So I'm trying to give them this thing, give the context about this content, that this particular content is about data, is for data practitioners, right? You get that kind of thing. So you see me doing stuff like be active in the data community. Now I'm not writing be active in the community for a reason. I can decide to write be active in the community, but I decide to write be active in the data community, because I'm just trying to play with the algorithm now, because when it's trying to like consider these contents now, they may be like what they feed into the model. They may consider feeding maybe what's like data community in the model. So when it sees stuff about data community, then it knows that this thing is relating to data. I don't know if I'm making sense. It's relating to data science community. You get what I'm trying to say? These are just things that we are trying, some tricks we are trying to play in. So, like I said, I posted 2 contents like completely A/B testing, just like trying new content around the same time. So, if when I check now, see this one I have up to like this, like up to 346 likes. This one has up to like 421 likes. This one I have up to like 107 retweets. This one has up to like, I think, yes, so it's more than that. So from this now, I can draw my conclusion as a data scientist that, okay, since this one has a lot of likes, I might be wrong, but I'm trying to just use the sense of a data scientist now. Since this one has a lot of likes and this one has more retweets, like this one have more retweets, that means there are a lot of people in my audience that are more bothered about, they are interested, because I will rate retweets over like, because me personally, I can like a content, but it takes extra decision for me to retweet a content. For me to retweet a particular content is I am seeing a very good value in the content. So I'll place, according to the metric now, I'll place retweets over likes, for example, and I'll place comments over retweets. I'm just giving. So I'm just saying, for instance, maybe I see a lot of people interacted with this, and so I'm just giving instance. Maybe people interacted with this, and I check this one also, that the people that interacted with this, they are low compared to this. So I look at it that I will post contents that are relating to this more. Why? Because I think a lot of people are more bothered about building projects. They are more bothered about reading articles, trying to learn, and they are more bothered about writing and contributing to open source. So I'm trying to get the sentiment of my audience now. Sentiment simply means, if you are in the data field, I won't assume you've heard about that, but normal, as a data scientist, you know about sentiment analysis. Forget about the English, like I always say. What it simply means is opinion, actually. What's your opinion to this? So analyzing different opinions to a particular product or to a particular content now, in this sense. Now, I don't know if you are getting what, are you there? Yeah, I don't know if you are getting what I'm trying. Yes, if you are getting what I'm trying to explain now. These are just social media metrics now. Practical A and B texting now that you can use for your content, like posting about 2 contents or 2 to 3 contents, and trying to know the one like users interact with more, then knowing what to post more. You get post more about. That's just a brief part about that. So the next thing I'll be going now is my personal advice. Like I will say, my personal advice is start creating content. Creating content will open doors for you. I tell you, outside being a data scientist, personally, creating content will open a lot of doors for you. Like you get a lot of gift. Creating content will build credibility. Yeah, to build trust and credibility in the company. Creating content will give you confidence. I tell you the truth. When people start interacting, like when I started, like, okay, I moved just creating content on Twitter. I create content on LinkedIn also. I moved as at December 21, something like that. I was actually in 1,300. I had 1,300 followers, but now I have over 5,500 followers on Twitter. How? Just because I am consistent. Like when you're trying to create content, one of the main things you should be bothered about is creating content consistently. I always say something. It is better to create less quality content consistently than for you to create very good quality content inconsistently. I'll say it again that it is better to create less quality content. I'm not saying less quality content now. It is better to create less quality content consistently than creating a very good quality or quality content more quality content inconsistently. For example, what do I mean? Maybe I'm trying to be maybe a social media influencer, or I'm trying to, let me use data science. I'm trying to be a data science content creator now. And I start a YouTube channel and I make good content, fine. But I drop my content once in 5 months, once in like maybe 2 times in 8 months, people won't see you as there won't be this trust. In creating content, consistency is very important. In fact, anything you do, there won't be this trust. You get that kind of thing. They'll just see you as a generic YouTuber, but they won't see you as someone worth following. But when you are creating content, maybe you are creating a short. I always say, like, you don't have to make it perfect. Like, creating content is art. Coming up with ideas every day. A lot of people come to me that, how do I get ideas every day and start dropping stuff on Twitter every time? It's just because the more I create content, the more I know how to create content. How? Because a lot of people, and I create content out of the questions people have asked me. That's how you get content. Content are, as you check a lot of quality content you see, maybe on YouTube, you see, before creating content, the best thing to do is ask questions. You get, ask questions that, why am I creating this content? For whom am I creating this content? Who will use this content? These are questions that are very important. You don't just go about creating content. Maybe I'm trying to create content now. I need to ask myself that, okay, I'm trying to create content in data science. What is actually trending in the field? What is people trying to learn? Okay, that's just a basic technique I use for. I don't know if you see my, like, the talk I'll be giving a talk in Oscar Fest. Exactly, I'll be giving a talk by March. So one of the analogy I use, I posted, like, I submitted only one talk and it got accepted. How? What did I do? I'm not saying it's something special. It's just because I looked at it that, okay, a lot of people will be dropping, like, they'll be submitting talks and stuff like that. How can I send talk to Open Source Community Africa? Or I know Benny asked me something about that, like, how did I do that? So I'm trying to explain it now. Since we are talking about content creation, I'm trying to explain what I did. So how can I like make submit just one talk and it gets accepted? Now that was the first question that came to my mind. So I looked at what they talked about, that what the title of like the content, like the event. I look at it that, okay, this is Oscar Fest, Open Source Community Africa, right? So I should be tailoring my data science and machine learning content to anything open source now. So I started looking at it now, that how can I tailor open source to data science? Then I brought about it. Then I look at it that Git. Then I look at it about DVC. What is DVC? DVC is simply data version control, but it's just like the Git for data scientists. I looked about DarkZob. DarkZob is like the GitHub for data scientists. So I look at it there, relating this now to the Oscar Africa. These are what I can just drop to create content. You get what I'm trying to say? This, like, I feel if I drop this, relating to open source and relating it to data science, placing the keywords, I think it will draw the attention, because I am tailoring my content to what they are trying to, like, what's hitting the nail on the head. It's not that I'm not just trying to create a generic content because maybe because I just need to submit a talk. Like, a lot of talk got rejected actually, but maybe people, and I looked at it that talking about MLOps, like MLOps is machine learning in production. Everybody, they're talking about, that's the trending topic right now. You get, so I try to impute that one way or the other. That's how I did that actually. So I said something, this is a term, something by me. I said, content creation to communication is like oxygen to human. Without it, it dies. That's just the truth. Content creation to community and to communication is like oxygen to human. Think about this, that without this, it dies. Like, if you want to be a good communicator, one way or the other, be a content creator. I tell you the truth. If you want to, for example, now I'm communicating here. For example, now I am actually creating content now, because like I would say, an agglomeration of information is communication. If you can put that, like, so an agglomeration of information or a conglomeration of information is communication now. But an agglomeration of wrangled information now is effective communication. Yeah, like, I'll just put that. I made something like that. Okay, I said good communication is key. Good communication skill is a very important skill for all data practitioners. creating content is a bridge to enhancing our communication skills, either personally or at workplace. Even at workplace, when you build your data stuff and you explain to stakeholders, you explain to business people. It's not everything that is just building model. You explain to them, like, how is this done? Because communication is a crucial skill for any data practitioner. So you explain to them, we are trying to communicate. So yeah, so thank you for today. My name is Gift. You can connect with me on Twitter. You can connect with me on LinkedIn. My name, like with Gift Ojeabulu, stuff like that. Yes. Yeah, thank you for this. Yeah. Benny, you can take over.
Thank you so much for this speech and
Yeah,
everything.
and I'll give space for questions. So
yeah, if there are any
there's-
questions,
yeah.
So if there are any questions, you can either drop it in the chat box or I can also mute you and you can give any questions.
If there's any question, you can just side me, just eye me. Any question. I love answering questions because I talk a lot. I love talking, so I love answering questions. I don't know if you like if you get anything like in what I'm trying to explain today, like if you get something new at least to an extent, yeah. Is there any questions, please?
Yes, there's a question. Timida has a question.
So I'd like to.
So Timida, you can ask a question.
Hello, Gift.
Yeah, I
just want to say awesome section. That's all. Like,
really thanks. Yeah,
section. Thanks a lot, man. I will see you at this thing. We'll see you at the festival now.
Okay, wow, nice. Yeah. What's your name?
Kiddo Jazz.
Okay, big man, I hear you. Yeah. Yeah, thanks for that. Actually, yeah, don't mind the video, man, because I know as humans normally, like if you are not seeing somebody you are talking to, just like talking to a ghost. That's why a lot of times I prefer in person to online. But yeah, but you can go by that. Yeah. So, what's the question, please? Hi.
Okay, so you can talk. You can just unmute yourself and talk.
Please ask questions. I love answering questions.
Linus. Hello.
Hi.
Hello, everybody.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody.
Yeah.
My challenge has been the issue of getting a project. I mean, as in when you have, I know what you are discussing about building a content, but as somebody who is learning programming, I'm having challenge in getting a project because I learned that for one to be good in programming, you need to do a project. I don't really know if you have a specific place that where one can learn that or get suitable topics or project for a beginner.
So the first question is
learning Python anyway.
Yeah, so like I know that's outside the scope of this topic, but I would like to address that as well. So like Benny, can I go ahead addressing that?
Yes, you can go ahead and address.
Okay, so when you talked about getting projects, right? I don't know. I'm not trying to market myself that you should follow me on Twitter. But I'll say something. We once did before I go to answer the question. We once did a space on building mini projects, right? Like building projects. Why we did that space was because building projects is a crucial issue for beginner data practitioners, right? So if you want to get projects, how do I get project now? The first thing is it's nice realizing that you need to get projects and stuff like that. So the first thing is I'll be bothered about what others has built, like what has others done in this field, and how can I get what others has done in data science now. You can get that by articles. Actually, there are a lot of articles in data science. If you go towards data science now, Neptune AI, Fritz AI, you see a lot of end-to-end explanation of article. You know what I feel? I don't want to say a lot of beginners don't know that articles are okay. I don't want to say a lot of people don't like to read. Yeah, we are in an age where. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, so I'm trying to explain. So we are in the age where videos, like a lot of people like watching videos, fine. Sometimes you can also get projects through. There are articles that explain. I can't start searching for the articles I'm sharing to you now. But if you reach out to me, maybe, but I'm not promising though. But there are articles that explain end-to-end stuff. There are articles that explain deep stuff that they do in Google. Like I've learned, like there was a time I was reading stuff of how they did stuff in Google Pixel, how they applied machine learning to Apple products, Apple iPhones, how they apply machine learning. So all this stuff, you can get this content on articles, you can get through searching on GitHub, you can get through videos, YouTube videos. There are data science channels that you can get end-to-end project from. So getting from these parts now, then you can deduce, like after getting that, right, you can deduce your own idea and try to build stuff. But that's how you get content randomly, right? Make research, whether through written content or video content. Then after that, when you get that, try to understand what they did here, follow their process, then try to deduce yours. After deducing yours, I always advise people, write and explain to people, because you think you know one particular thing until you start explaining to people. That's how you know if you don't understand something or you understand something. You discover the gap in your knowledge. So I don't know if I answered your question.
Yes, I really I understood it very well, but I'm going to connect with you very soon on LinkedIn.
Yes,
so
you can connect with me, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I will share with you that. Thank you so much.
Okay, is there any other question, please?
Yeah. Okay. So I think the best part of the stuff of the webinar was the part where you mentioned that it's better to get lesser quality content than making this thing of the consistency, because I feel like that's even one of my biggest problem. If I have to write something, I always have to. My friend on open source projects to write about. It takes me weeks to maybe have to read about documentation. For I read the project, for now write about it, it could have taken maybe a whole month to have done that, because I don't want to always bring out stuff that everybody already knows about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that's actually the consistency.
Like me personally, I noticed this out of experience. One of the things that made me start posting about Twitter. I was writing at school. Why I started posting Twitter threads and this thing more was because I looked at it that for me to, I'm not saying I wouldn't go back to writing articles. Like I can tell you, writing Twitter threads and making tweets on Twitter, data science tweets, has improved my writing skills differently. You might see, you can be a good writer, but writing is based on context. See what I mean? I might be a good technical writer, but randomly, like maybe I'm not a good generic writer. See what I'm trying to say? I can be a good technical writer in form of maybe I'm trying to explain some people are good at explaining complex stuff. I don't want to mention myself to an extent. I have that property, but I can explain complex stuff. But there's a difference in when you are trying to explain, you are trying to give the best explanation that everyone can understand. You can explain something to some people, explain technical stuff to technical people, and technical people understand. But they can't explain technical stuff to non-technical people and they understand. Explaining technical stuff to non-technical people is actually the hardest. Like it's very hard. When it's just like me, someone asked me now, for example, that what is yes, my nephew is 11 years, my niece to be precise. She asked me that why is it that anytime I mention data science, I always mention machine learning? You know what I said? I said data science and machine learning now, because like when she asked that question, I'm like, how will I explain this thing to this girl for her to understand? Because this is somebody that she don't even understand data science at all, machine learning. So if I start saying story, she won't get what I'm saying. I said data science and machine learning is to what Jesus is to Christian. You see what I'm trying to say now? You get? So I said data science to machine learning is what Jesus is to Christian. That there's no way you mention Christian that you won't mention Jesus. You know why? Because I know she attends church, she goes to Sunday school. So when I try to explain stuff like that, so when you bring stuff about what data science and machine learning, she know that data science and machine learning, she don't need to know the definition of data science now. She just know that data science and machine learning is to what Jesus is to Christians. So she know that this thing, like the bigger bodies like data science, then machine learning, this thing are intertwined. So I'm just trying to say, like, explaining something is based on content. You might be a good writer and people applaud you. Hey, you write technical articles, but when you write Twitter threads, people see you as you don't even know how to explain content. You get? So a lot of times before you explain content, you need to be in be in the audience shoe. That's why it's better to write. That's why it's better to write from experience. That's why if you see a lot of content from experience will sell more than content from non-experience. Though it's not always true, but a lot of times, because when it's just like maybe I've passed through a lot of things, I know how it's so hard, for example, to get into tech, to get into data science, and I'm trying to write a content about writing. I'm trying to write content about getting into data science. If I give content about that, because of our experience, the first thing I do is not to go and make research about getting into data science. I try to close my eyes and imagine all the things I passed through and be emotional and write about getting into data science. Because when I know I'm emotional and I start writing about this, when I'm putting this out in form of write-up now, this thing is more like a story. So the person that is writing this content, there's a tendency that person would have passed through what you are passing through. So when this person is able to relate to what you are writing at that point in time, the person automatically see you as a good technical writer, a good writer, because the person now you are writing in the writers, you are creating content in the writer's shoe, and also assuming yourself in the audience shoe. So it's just like you are playing two roles now. When you can play these two roles effectively, I bet you produce good content. That's what happens a lot of times. You see a lot of, I don't really know, but a lot of YouTubers, I think what they do, like what I do a lot of time is, if there's a video about this now, I go and see the way I talk. I condemn myself. I be like, okay, I don't really like the way I sound. I don't really like am I talking too fast? Because I know I talk fast a lot, because I used to rap actually, so I talk fast a lot. That if you notice my word, you see that there are some rhymes, like it's not intentional, because I used to rap. So I notice I talk fast, so I'll be like, okay, the speed is too much in this talk. So let me, which words am I mentioning too much? Is this supposed to be so? Am I stammering a lot? Am I stammering a lot? So these are basic things. They are basic things, but these are basic things I check to improve. So I'd be like, okay, when I listen to this, then I assume that, okay, when I'm trying to give the next talk, I try to slow myself down and I try to give talk, and I try to interact with people more. That's why I say the more you create content, the more you know how to create content, because in the process of creating content, you will experience a lot. You can't create content by it's just like, to be a good writer, you need to know how to, you also need to be a good reader. To be a good writer, that's how it is. You can't be a good writer without being a good reader to an extent. It's just like, I want to write about data science. I don't know about data science. How will I write about data science? It's not possible. I need to have read about data science, absorb content, then I produce what I absorb. That's what it is. So yeah, I don't know if you get that. Benny.
So everybody, yeah, I think everybody gets that. Are there any other questions?
If there's another question, please, any other question, ask, please. Yeah.
Okay, the another question is just people applauding you for your presentations.
Yeah, thanks. Like, I really appreciate though. Yeah, though, like, it's not because I'm just feeling like, hey, when I saw the video aspect, I'm like, oh wow, talking without video would be so boring and be so hard. I just try my best to, yes, I just try to like interact more. Yes, thanks for it. I really appreciate it. Yeah. Yes, it's nice talking with you guys. Happy Sunday, everyone. Yeah, more content creations. Like, I'm open to, maybe you're trying to create. You can learn from my content. Yes, like okay. There are a lot of things I didn't say here. Yeah. Okay. Somebody say, how are you able to monetize this write-up, right?
Your write-up. Okay, so monetizing your write-up.
Yeah. So yeah, I answered that, but I didn't go in depth. So let me go in depth now. Can I answer that, Benny?
Yes, you can answer that.
Yeah. So how you monetize your write-up is, there are different writing publication. I know Benny knew about that, but there are different writing publication actually. I'll post about that this week, probably or next week. Detail. There are different writers publications. For data science now, I think they're up to like 10 or something like that. They pay within the range of $50 to $500. Yeah. So Twilio, for example, you can write for Vonage, you can write for Twilio. Twilio, for example, a lot of times you have to pitch. They have to give you a topic and you write what they are interested in. Then they will pay you. Twilio, for example, I think they pay. Yes, you can also write for Stack Overflow. My guy writes in wrote for Stack Overflow, but I don't know the exact amount for Stack Overflow. You can write for Stack Overflow. So when you write for content publications, like outside towards data science, but you need to have written some content too. Like you need to have written articles on maybe Ashnode, maybe Dev2, maybe Medium, and try to make it more like as quality. Try to make it quality, like try to make it good to an extent. You don't have to be perfect. You can just try to make it good to an extent. When like just like Neptune AI, that you can just browse like the amount they pay. I think Neptune AI pay like up to $300, $350, and $500 based on your content. Content matter. If it's a deep technical content, very deep technical content, or maybe envelopes or other things like that, they pay $500. If it's just an explanation on how to do something, I think they pay. So I don't want to be biased about the price, but it's written. You can browse it on the net. So that's it. I don't know if you get that now.
Yes. So does that answer your question, Jerry? Yes, I've gotten that.
If you've not gotten that, tell me. Don't just say yes, so please.
Yeah, I think Jerry has gotten that.
Okay, she said
yes,
good. That's nice. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So
in the event of no other questions, you can reach out to Gift on Twitter and on LinkedIn if you have any questions. You can follow his trends.
Data science in general. Forget the fact that I talked about content creation. Don't mind me. You can see me another day talking about this stuff in machine learning. Yeah, I can't talk about it. I can decide to talk about it. So either content creation, either data science, tech in general. Yes, thanks for that. Yeah.
Okay, so we have another webinar by 6 o'clock.
Okay.
So see you all there. And thank you so much, Gift.
All right. Bye. Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.